Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So the date is the 7th of January, so we're a week into 2025. And as I look out the window, it's cold. It's actually dry for once, which is a shock at the moment. But it's cold, icy, miserable. Over the last month, it's been really wet, windy. So the bike has only gone out maybe twice to work, and that's about it. I haven't gone out for enjoyment because riding around in 2 or 3 degrees isn't enjoyable. So I've got no content on that side of things. So what I thought I'd do is make a video about what you can expect if you're going for your motorbike license in the UK. You know, the process of start to finish and what you need to do and what to expect basically. As I done mine last year, it took me about 6 months to go from zero to hero, as they say, you know, from nothing to full license. You can do it quicker than that, you can do it longer than that, but that was just my experience. So I see on Moto UK on Reddit, a lot of people ask about CBTs. You know, there's a lot of information that needs, because it's sort of a bit more, it's a little bit more awkward than a car license. Car licenses have been the same, they're simple, everyone knows what they're doing with them. But the bike with the mod 1s, mod 2s, CBT, you know, it's a bit more awkward, should we say. So if you see me looking down, I've got a little cheat sheet. So yeah, looking into a camera is not really very natural for me. So I apologise if my eyes wander. But yeah, so I'll try and keep it short and sweet. And yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need, which is pretty obvious, and well, first of all, I'll say that if you're an experienced rider, this video is no good for you unless you want to know what to expect nowadays if you passed a long time ago. But basically, yeah, I'm not teaching you how to suck eggs or anything. This is for people that just don't know anything about the process for the most part. So the first thing you're going to need is obviously your provisional license. I think everyone knows that. It's the same as a car. You have to apply, get your provisional license. I'm not going to tell you how to do that here. You just go on the government website, look it up. They'll tell you how to do it. First thing you need, yeah, provisional license. I'd also say some bicycle experience, because if you've not ridden a bicycle, your balance just isn't going to be there basically, because 2 wheels is 2 wheels. It's the same principle of balancing. Bikes are just heavier. Yeah, so you're going to need bicycle experience. I'd say that's essential. So next step, just phone your local schools or Google motorbike schools in your area, phone them up, get your prices. The one I'd done mine in Aylesford. I went into Maidstone to do it. Went into the Maidstone area to do it in Aylesford. Mine was £160, and that's for the CBT day. So that was from, I think that's from like 7 or half 7 till like 3-4 o'clock, depends really when they think you should be finishing. So £160, so the average price is probably between 140 and 180. They'll give you a list of what you need to wear. For the most part, what you're going to need for your CBT is you're going to need boots and jeans, which is generally the thing that they want you to wear. They don't want you showing up in sandals or trainers or shorts. Even if it's the middle of summer, you have to wear jeans. It's common sense, isn't it? You're brand new. If you're going to fall off a motorbike, it's going to hurt. So you want as much protection as possible. If you haven't got motorbike gear, then the basic, denim jeans and just some sturdy shoes. Like let me show you. I used hiking boots. I mean, these weren't the best thing you could possibly use. I mean, I did lack some feel on the brake, especially because of the chunky boot. I wasn't used to it. You get used to it, but yeah, these will protect you a lot more, your ankles. If you do get some bike stuff, I got casual Alpine Stars, and if you're new, you want as much feel as possible, because yeah, there's nothing worse than if you're trying to learn something if you can't feel the controls so well. So if you're going to buy motorbike boots to learn in, get casual ones that you can feel stuff through. Not, like the really hard shelled boots, because you might struggle to feel when you need to feel when you're learning. in my opinion. Next thing is just turn up on time, show good attitude. You're there to learn. These people get to decide whether you're going to go out on the road or whether you have to come back. So just go with a good attitude, basically. You're not expected to know anything. They expect you to be a complete beginner. Even if you've got some experience, they will treat you as if you know nothing. So you don't have to know anything about a motorcycle. Don't go in thinking, I don't know anything about bikes. I don't want to do my CBT and look stupid. That's what CBT is for. You don't have to know a single thing. So don't worry about it. They will show you how the basic controls like a clutch works. If you've got a car, the clutch is obviously the same. It's just different muscle memory. If you don't know, they'll teach you. You don't need to know anything. So the start of a CBT is basically just learning the bike in a car park, sort of arena area with cones and very slow speed stuff. You're not going to hurt yourself. So you do like half a day. You'll do like half a day in an arena or car park, coned off area, that controlled area. And then the second half of the day will be on the road if they think you're good enough. Obviously, if they don't think you're going to be safe, they won't take you on the road. You won't get your CBT. So just show good attitude to learning. Don't give them lip. Just generally be a good person and try your best. And then there's not much more you can do than that, is there? After the CBT, they'll either give you a pass or fail. If you pass, you'll get the choice. You'll get a choice then. You'll get a choice to either buy a 125cc bike, put L plates on it, insure it, and ride it as anyone else out on the road. You don't need anyone with you like you would with a car. You just need to ride. You just need to have the L plates on the front and back. The next step would be a theory test, but you can do the theory test before the CBT or after the CBT. Doesn't matter, but it has to be done before you do any training for your actual full license. So the next step, the logical step for most people is CBT, then theory. I personally, after my CBT, I did buy a 125 bike and start riding around for a few months. I did it because I think it was the best way to learn rather than go straight from the CBT straight into the full license training and like a direct access course. Personally, it worked out really well for me. Then few months, or then 4 or 5 months I was riding a 125cc bike, really learned a lot more. Muscle memory really built up because the CBT is only 1 day. And after driving a car for 20 years, muscle memory on a bike was like really, really alien. So muscle memory doesn't just, you can't just learn something like that muscle memory wise. It takes a good while. So then few months riding, I really, muscle memory built up. You do make some mistakes at start with, like the clutch, or the clutch. You might let it out when you mean to pull it in. Just different things like this. It takes time for your muscle memory to build up. So I personally would recommend riding a 125 if you can afford to get the bike, insure it, ride, and then maybe 6 months to a year or 2 years or whatever long it is for you, then chop it in. If you can afford to do all that process, then I would recommend do that. I think if you're just going straight from nothing all the way through to full license, there's potential for a much more dangerous situation at the end of it where you're lacking the muscle memory, but a lot of people do it. I just personally went this other way. But the next step is the theory test, logically, if you haven't already done it before the CBT. So just go on the government website. I can't remember what the price is now. It's not expensive. It's like, I can't remember now, 30 quid? I can't remember. It wasn't expensive. But it's probably the cheapest part of this whole, it would be the cheapest part of this whole process, the theory test. Just book it. There should be a couple of places locally around you. Just book it and do it. It's multiple choice, half of it, and then a hazard perception, half of it. So once you've got your CBT certificate and your theory certificate, assuming you've passed them both, the next step would be basically the same as CBT. Phone the school and arrange your full license testing. There's different. This is where it gets a bit more confusing because there's different ways of doing it. I think there are some schools that they don't come to your house, obviously. I think there are schools that do lessons, but it's not generally the way most schools do things. What they do instead is what's called a direct access course. But basically, it's like an intensive course, like a week-long intensive course. But then there's also complications that you've got 2 tests. There's a module 1 and a module 1 and a module 2. You have to do the mod 1 before the mod 2. And if you fail the mod 1 test, you can't retake it for 3 days, I think. If you book a week long, you do the first 3 days as your mod 1 and then the last 2 days as mod 2. If you fail that mod 1, you can't retake that mod 1 for 3 days. So then you've got 2 days afterwards. Is it wasted money? It depends on how the school works things. I personally, what I did, because of my work situation anyway, I can't get more than, because I don't get annual leave, so I'm shifted off weeks here and weeks there. I done mod 1 month, and then when I had another week off, I did the mod 2 a month later. So I didn't have to worry about that problem. So the mod 1 was 3 days for me, 2 days training and 1 day was the test. And the mod 2 was 2 days, 1 day training and 1 day the test. But every school's different, so just phone them up, explain your circumstances, what's best for you. They'll explain how it works. Some might give you lessons, and some will just will have their own way of sorting this week out. I think Mid-Kent Motorcycles training, the ones that I did it with, usually do 1 week. They'll do your mod 1s, which is normally like a Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, like that. And then the beginning of the next week we'll do your mod 2. So you might need to split your annual leave up. Excuse me. There's one guy, when I'd done my mod 2, I went up to Gillingham to do my testing. There's one guy up there doing his mod 1, and in the afternoon he was doing his mod 2. So if you're willing to do that gamble, then you can do them both in the same day. But if he failed the mod 1, it would have been a wasted money for his mod 2. So only you can decide what's best for your circumstances in that one. So on to the training. Mod 1 it's basically similar to a CBT. CBT, you get half the day in the training arena, and then half a day out on the road. The full license training is basically the same. Your mod 1 is an arena test, so manoeuvres, so slaloms, figure of eights, U-turns, and then your mod 2 is the traditional road test that you'd associate with a car license. One thing I found about doing the full license was I was quite worried, because on a 125, the slow speed manoeuvres they're quite difficult because the engine's so revvy, it's hard to hold a rev, and the clutch it's not as progressive on my bike that I had anyway. I don't know what the others are like, but a lot of people say the same. When I got to the full license test, doing the mod 1 training, it felt so easy compared to the 125. Slow speed, the bike was just so much more stable, and I mean a lot more stable. You could go much slower. I'm trying to explain this. You could go a lot slower and be much more in control than I could on the 125. The weight was lower down, the tyres were wider, the clutch was much more progressive, throttle control was easier, it wasn't so up and down. Yeah, so I was a bit worried about this because the U-turn and that, I struggled a little bit with the 125, even after months of riding. But as soon as I got to my mod 2, my mod 1, it just felt so easy. So that was another advantage of riding a 125 for a while, that getting onto the bigger bike actually was a lot easier. So I was doing the practicing on a bike that was more difficult to do the manoeuvres. One thing I will say is always keep your certificates, your CBT, your theories, especially your mod 1 and mod 2 pass certificates. Always keep them, because the DVLA are just crap. When it comes to renewing your license in future, there's a lot of people, the motorcycle, it just disappears from their license. The DVLA are just rubbish. I don't know who they've got working there, but they're rubbish. And I've had, I saw a video yesterday actually about a guy whose motorcycle license when he renewed his license, it just disappeared. And he didn't notice it because, I mean, how often you just look at the date and think, oh, okay, it's updated. Apparently, and they took his motorcycle license off him. And because he didn't have any proof, they wouldn't give it back to him. He had to retake his whole test. So it cost him like £1,000 or something. So always keep your certificates. Didn't mention the cost for the Mod 1 and Mod 2, did I? For me, I did it as like a direct access. I just split it up from 1 month to the next. So overall for the 5 days, mine was £960. So it's not cheap getting your motorbike license, not cheap at all. So that's how much mine cost, about £960. That's for the test. That's tests, all the tests involved. If you have to do a retest, obviously you'll have to pay more, and the hire of the bike. So you've got 4 tests you need to. CBT is not classed as a test, but it is really 4 tests you've got to do. Your CBT lasts 2 years, and your theory test lasts 2 years, and your Mod 1 lasts until your theory test runs out. So if you've only got 6 months left on your theory test when you take your Mod 1 only lasts 6 months to get your Mod 2 done. So them two are kind of linked. Try and be relaxed and just enjoy it, basically. You obviously want to get on a bike for a reason. Don't stress about it. Enjoy the journey. And when you've finished, you'll feel like you've achieved something that a lot of people don't in the country. I'll try to keep it short, but there was a lot of waffle in there. I do apologise. And hopefully the weather will get a lot better soon and I'll be able to get out on the bike. But until next time, just enjoy the journey. Good luck with your test. And thank you for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.